Good afternoon, everyone. This is our fucking first live stream of the month. We've got a few things to talk about here at Spirit Hunters Paranormal UK. One, just a quick note: we've ordered our t-shirts, and we've also ordered some business cards. So when we're on events and people want our group, they can find it, and they can also see it on the t-shirt. I mean, I'm currently wearing a Knights Templar t-shirt, but that's another story. We're also going to Margam Castle next year in February. We're going to talk a little bit about that and a little bit of a few events we got planned. We was going to do an event with a group near Warwick. My mind went there. But I am agreeing with my team that something's a bit off with this person who's doing it. They wanted to go through PayPal under friends and family. Now, if you're aware of that, you know under friends and family on PayPal, you are not covered by buyer protection. So we're like, no. But we do have a few ideas of what we want to do. So first of all, we're going to go through Margam. Now, the event's booked and paid for February. Hotel is booked but not paid for, and the train is not booked, but at the moment it stands at 176 for me and Laurie, which ain't too bad for an open return. That ain't too bad at all.
Why did you need to tell them the price of the train?
I'm just explaining. Obviously, I've never been to Margam Castle. I don't know what it's like. I've heard stories that there's been attacks and things like that on people, and you know, their spirits can get very physical. Whether that's true, we'll find out. Where's my email flashing at me? 2 seconds, guys. None of you are here anyway, so let's see what this is about for a minute. What the fuck? I know I'm live YouTube. I'm not exactly stupid. Sometimes.
Can you carry on with the live rather than you being on your phone? It's not really professional.
Yeah, I know. I was just checking what that thing is in the corner. But Margam, it's got a lot of history to it from what I've read. It dates back to middle 1500 originally. None of the original buildings are still standing, so I know, because it was restored in the 1800s or something like that, and there was a fire that destroyed the originals. That's what I've read. If I've misinterpreted that, I do apologize. But there's things like there's an old hill fort thing, just a hill. Obviously, there's no ruins or anything like that there, as far as I know. We'll find out when we get there. So it's going to be packed, I think, with a lot of history, and it's going to be fairly interesting. Now, we're going to travel up on the train, like we always do, because we don't drive. We do this all ourselves. We fund it ourselves, and we do it as a hobby and an interest, you know. I wouldn't ever probably think of turning this into a business per se, but we just love the paranormal stuff. I mean, it's part of our hobby. It's our field, if you will, and
Part of our lives.
Part of our lives, and we're never going to stop unless something stops us, such as medical conditions that are incurable, such as like MS and things like that. But as far as I know, we're still going to be good for a couple of years yet. We're monitoring my partner's condition. You should all know about that from one of the other live streams, I believe. I'm not going to mention it because I'll get a bollocking later from the missus, literally. But if at some point in the not too distant future between now and say 5 years, Laurie can't do it anymore, unfortunately, that will be how it is. I could still do it myself, but I don't think I'd do it without her, because we're kind of a team. So it's all for one and one for all kind of thing.
Like some 24-hour care.
Plus, I'm also her carer, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So yeah, I mean, at the moment she's just got mobility issues and uncontrollable pain, but hopefully I might message Haunted Happenings as well, because we're going Margam. I just want to let them know that she does have a walking stick,
See that?
just to help her walk. It's not a mobility issue as such yet.
It is a mobility issue. That's why I put the stick.
Yeah, but it's not a super one like most
But it's
people.
not major.
No, it's not major. It's only minor for now. And hopefully they'll be all right with it. If not, I don't know what to do, but one thing at a time. We're also, as I said, we were looking at doing an event near Warwick with another group. I'm not mentioning them for legal reasons, but I will mention they are not a registered business. I am extremely nervous of sending them money because they're not registered. I've had someone go deep undercover to get a bit of information, and someone revving their engine. Sounds like a bike. But you know.
Do you know the joke?
What?
No one there.
Weird. But you know, it doesn't matter because we can do other stuff. It's not a problem. So that one I'm probably going to put to a side for a minute and be like, nah, I'm all right. Because as I mentioned before, they want us to pay via PayPal and they want us to pay for friends and family. Now, if I'm not mistaken, businesses are not allowed to ask that. See, I think they're trying to avoid the fees on PayPal, which is all well and good, but at the end of the day, it makes us rather uncomfortable, would be the words I'd use. So we're going to say heave-ho to that one. But we are thinking about replacing it with something else. Now, I did look, because obviously I've booked a hotel for Warwick, because on booking.com, you don't pay nothing until like 3 or 4 days before you go. So it's pretty good. So you reserve your spot and so on. Unfortunately, Warwick Castle is, at least not for the dates I've looked at when we were originally going to go, it's not available, unfortunately. So what we might have to do is look at events that are happening in our time frame where we're free. I mean, I'm just going to click off in a minute. I'll tell you some places we're looking at. That's the event we're doing in February, Margam Ghost Hunt near Port Talbot. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that properly. It should be the 3 of us, but we'll wait and see. Now, we're thinking about doing one called Stillhouse Lane Ghost Hunt. It's near Birmingham, apparently, or in Birmingham. I'm not too sure. I've never been there. It looks like an old jailhouse / police station, maybe. That might be worth looking at. The trouble is that's only 8 p.m. to 1 a.m. So it's not even 4 hours.
5.
No, 5. Still quite low. We are thinking about doing Shepton Mallet again, because
I really want to go back there again. I loved that last time.
we love our prisons. Shepton Mallet was the first prison we did, and boy, it was a fun one. We originally went with Oracle Paranormal Mediumship, but unfortunately they have since folded. So we can't do it with them, unfortunately. Now they've got it for the 22nd of March and the 6th of April. And I know they've got it one more time. Hang on, I'll find it.
The last times as well, it's going to be closed.
And the 11th of May. So I'm just looking. And the 31st of May. So we're thinking of doing it sometime in May when we were going to do this other event. But as I say, because of anxiety issues, so to speak, we're a little bit uncomfortable doing that. So we'll probably just do something else, and we'll probably do it with Haunted Happenings. They've always been good as gold. I've never had a problem. Touch wood, I don't. Where was that one? Oh, that's Cheshire. I can't go that far. But it is an option. We're also looking at doing the other prison I wanted to do. Hold on, I'm going to find it now. See, I've got all my web pages open here. Where are you, you bugger? No, it's still House Lane. Shepton Mallet. Oh my God, where is it? It's in here somewhere. It's in here somewhere. Where are you? Here we go. Dorchester on the 4th of May. Now, it's the only prison we've not done. I don't know how big Dorchester is, so I couldn't say, but might be worth a look. We definitely want to return to Shepton Mallet. I know that before it's knocked down, because they're planning to knock it down and build flats, so I've heard. Which personally I think is absolutely ridiculous. Why build a flat on a prison?
They've done that with Bodmin.
Yeah, and look how Bodmin turned out.
And that turned out shit.
I've not even been there yet, and I don't really want to because of what I've heard. So I'm just putting these in groups. Shepton Mallet. God. Where's the other Shepton Mallet? I know there's another one.
I have about 3, I think.
About 3 or 4. Still, how do I know? Shepton Mallet. There we go. So, yeah, dates for Shepton Mallet, 22nd of March, 11th of May, 6th of April, and 31st of May. So we could do one of them. One of them's got an optional sleepover, but I think it's the early one. Yeah, it's the 11th of May one.
It likes the sound of all this.
Might be a bit difficult. So invariably we like to do it at the end of the month because we've got a little bit more financial stability, so to speak. So there are options. I mean, we're definitely doing Margam Castle anyway, but there might be other events that we want to do. I mean, I am looking at doing Dorchester Prison because it's the only prison we've not done, you know. We've done...
You want to get many prison in you can, don't you?
Well, exactly. We've done Shepton Mallet. We've done Shrewsbury. I don't recommend it. At least not with the group we went originally. We've done Gloucester. My favourite is probably between Gloucester and Shepton Mallet so far. So Dorchester will be another one we can tick off our list. I don't know how many more prisons there is that you can do paranormal stuff. That's something we're going to have to look into. But, you know, it's definitely options for us to do stuff. I mean, the Dorchester one is 4th of May. It's a little bit too close for comfort financially, but they might have more afterwards. I don't know.
But just keep an eye out.
Yeah, probably all we can do, Babs.
I thought so.
Hotels are quite close as well. They're like 0.11 miles, so me and Laurie would be fine for hotels. The other thing we were looking at doing is, as much as I'd like to do Colchester Castle, it's in Essex, and yeah, I don't think Laurie could travel that far yet. There is Dudley Castle as well.
Why do you always use my disabilities to work but can't travel?
Well, because obviously you can't travel that far, and I try and take that into account when booking these events for us. When we've got a car, if we ever get on the road, incidentally.
Might be being a bit optimistic.
Yeah, probably am. When we got a car, if we ever do, I was saying, it opens up a whole bigger map. Depending on who's driving, whether it's me, Laurie, or the other guy whose name now just escapes me, despite the fact he's a very good friend. And it's like, I haven't had much sleep. Both me and Laurie have that thing where you don't sleep very well.
Insomnia.
Insomnia. I also am very nocturnal. I always have been. Hence why I'm paranormal, because I don't sleep at night anyway. Hence why we're on the monsters. Sponsor, please.
He couldn't be bothered to do a coffee this morning and then changed his mind once he got them out the fridge.
Well, then it's not that I couldn't be bothered. It means I couldn't be bothered when I first opened my eyes because I don't want to get up. I only just got to bed, to be honest. So, yeah, there's Dudley Castle and West Midlands we could do. If it's only the Midlands, I don't know whereabouts that is in comparison to where we've been in the Midlands before, but what I might do, tell me it's got a Google Map thing. No, let's search the web. Maps. Okay, so it's bang smack there. Oh my god, it's literally in, what do you call that? West Birmingham, I suppose. Yeah. Well, they've got a zoo there. We can go for a zoo. But yeah, it's literally like the other side of Birmingham, or it's in Birmingham. I'm not too sure. I'm not familiar with the area, guys, so go easy on me. So we could easily do that. That's doable by train. The other one is The House That Cries, which is Wolverhampton, which again is West Midlands. If my computer will let me do what I want to do. No, not the sidebar. Where is it? Search. Maps. Again, I think this will be near Birmingham. That is also right near it. Hold on. I might have just insulted people. Okay. I've just realised that the one I was looking at just now, Dudley, is actually more Wolverhampton than blimmin' Birmingham. They're so close together, guys. I mean, give me a break.
It's made yourself look like a douche.
I don't mind. I don't know the area, to be fair, so it's perfectly natural to screw up every now and then.
I think we've all made mistakes every now and then, but it's perfectly normal.
We've got Stillhouse Lane, which is again West Midlands. It says Birmingham this time, so I assume it's in Birmingham.
Got it right, did you?
Hopefully. I mean, come on, guys. They call Gatwick and Heathrow London Heathrow and London Gatwick. By the way, it's nowhere near London. Gatwick certainly isn't. Yeah.
What about that when you went to Miami?
So it's bang smack there. So West Midlands Police Museum, which could be interesting. It looks like it's got a massive cell block as well. Ooh, I want to do that. I think this one here I found, this Tudor place in Cheshire, is going to be far too far. We'll see. So, no, I don't want sidebar. I want the normal web. Why would I want sidebar? Hold on. Where's that? Oh my God. That is right near Manchester. Well, not exactly Manchester. It's between Manchester and Liverpool. So, yeah, I don't think we could go that far right now. I mean, we're very limited because obviously we don't drive, but we do make the effort. No one can say we don't make the effort.
We've tried our very best to do what we can. It's not to everyone's satisfaction, but that's just tough shit because at the end of the day, none of us drive, so what we're meant to do.
No, where's Colchester? I had a feeling it'd be near there. It is the other side of London. In fact, I think. I'm sure that's near where we were going. See, I want to go there. I want to go place in particular. It's a bit close to my heart. Gravesend. I might not be pronouncing that properly. It is where You're all familiar with the story of the Native American girl from West Virginia?
Pocahontas.
The Disney movie? It's a pile of lies. As my partner's just said, Pocahontas, what she was known as, that wasn't her actual name. It was just a nickname for her by her father, who was chieftain of the Powhatan tribe at the time. She is apparently buried underneath her statue. I don't know how true that is, so I'd like to put that to the test. But what that depends on, one, we need a vehicle, without a doubt, for that far, because that's nearly London. It's virtually just across the river from London, so it's quite far. So we'd have to find someone who's up for that, who doesn't mind driving us.
We don't have a problem paying fuel.
We don't have a problem paying fuel.
About that.
No. But it might also go to absolute pot.
And at the same time, we won't be paying for everything for everyone either.
No, of course not.
Don't mind a bit of fuel because it's expensive and it is quite a way. That's not a problem. But
yeah,
don't expect like food and administrations and all that paid for, because that isn't happening.
Well, if we do Gravesend, I'm assuming, because where she's buried in one of the churches, in the grounds of the church. Now, I'm assuming it's a church you can walk in at night, I hope. Anyone who lives in Gravesend, comment below. Can we get in that particular church? You'll know what I mean if you live there and you've lived there all your life, sort of thing.
Or near there.
Or near there. Either way, if you've been there and you know the layout, because I don't, I've only seen a little bit on videos of how there's a statue right of the church building, sort of thing. I don't know if it's even possible. It would be nice to do, because I will then, if I capture anything either on audio through the Spirit Box or video through the Spirit Box, I will then make inquiries to get that sent, say she wants to leave a message, so to speak, to the actual descendants of the Powhatan tribe. I mean, I've signed a petition multiple times so the British government release her body and give it back to was the Powhatan tribe. I don't know if they're still existing. I know that descendants still exist, but I don't know if the actual tribe still exists. Because what happened with the Americans, in their infinite wisdom, they wiped out a lot of the tribes, and I'm sorry, it was pretty much Genesis. It's horrible. But yeah, that is an option. But as I say, we need to find someone who's willing to go that far, preferably with a car, because I'm not walking that far. That's just too far to walk. And
once again, we don't mind paying fuel.
No, fuel's not a problem. Fuel is not a problem.
We just don't expect them.
Bless you.
Everything else on top, because that isn't happening.
Yeah, that one's no good. That one's right up the way there. That's no good. Get rid of that one. So yeah, I mean, we've got a few options. They might have more events near the time. Haunted happenings. I honestly don't know. We're meant to be doing something in Torquay as well. I am waiting to hear back from Craig about this pub. I'm not allowed to tell you what pub, and I'm going to tell you this now. The first event, it's going to be a closed event. It's just going to be the team, unfortunately. Now, if we go there again, second time, it is up to the discretion of the owner, but if we do well with the first one and he likes how we do things, I'm sure he'll invite us back for the second one, and that's when we'll be like, does anyone want to come? It is going to be a small
minimum of 2 others, because it's 3 of us, so that would be 5 in total.
Depends. We have to see what it is. I'd say minimum 5, maximum 5, on top of the 3 that are going. We will have to let you know more about that once we've gone on it. As I say, I'm waiting for Craig to get back to me. That's his name. Why didn't I remember that a minute ago?
You're a dickhead at times.
This is what happens when you don't sleep, guys. Seriously, you need to sleep. I haven't had that much.
Well, why is it when I've been awake I've seen you sleeping and snoring your little head off?
Yeah, that's probably like 5 in the morning or 6 in the morning.
While you're asleep.
I mean, all of these ones near Birmingham or Wolverhampton, they're quite doable. I quite like the look of that house that cries. I mean, it's interesting.
Significant in that?
Well, I'm actually going to do some research in a bit about that, because I'm like, why has it got that name? Does it actually cry, or is it that people hear spirits crying?
Well, that's why I said, what's the significance in it? There's got to be a reason why it's called that.
Bollocks knows. I don't know.
We'll do some research. Not now. We'll do it when we're not doing live.
Yeah.
I can't sit in here too much longer, by the way.
Okay, Bubs. I'll try and be as quick as I can. What was I saying? That's why I hate her interrupting me. I forget.
Yeah, well, I'm letting you know. I can't sit. You knew that. I told you that from the start.
Yeah, that's why I don't know why you reminded me. I already knew that. That's why I was trying to be quick. Oh, God. So, yeah. Dudley Castles, Wolverhampton, Birmingham area. House that Cries is Wolverhampton. And obviously, Stillhouse Lane is also Birmingham area. So it's all doable, because it's only, what, 3-4 hours on the train?
I don't have my phone off to check. It's charging.
I think it's 3 or 4 hours on the train. But we've all got that coming. As I say, there might be something this November. I'm going to give it a few days, and I'm going to be like, can you let me know what's going on? Unless, of course, he's watching this, and then he'll be like, oh, yeah, he wants to do it such and such. I'm like, great, at least we know. But yeah, the first one of the pub in Torquay will be a closed event. I'm sorry, this is beyond our control. It's just what the owner wants to start with, which is fair enough. It's his pub. It's his choice.
So we don't really need people being funny about it.
Yeah, so please don't get upset about it. It's not my fault, or Laurie's, or even Craig's.
You can't just tell an owner of a pub,
no,
this is how many's coming, because it's their pub and they're the one that pays for it, not you.
And even if we do it the second time, if the owner is happy for us to go back, but he wants to charge other people, that is also beyond our control. I do not control that. I don't make no money from this, neither does Laurie, neither does Craig. We all fund it ourselves. Mostly me and Laurie. Getting to something a bit more interesting, we finally got some t-shirts made on Vistaprint. They'll be coming within the next week or two. For now, I've just got the team's t-shirt, mine and Laurie's. We've also got some business cards, as I mentioned in the beginning, to give out to people when we're on events if they want to check us out. We've got the links to our Facebook page and the links to our Facebook group and YouTube channel, because obviously we use Facebook and YouTube primarily. There is a Twitter account, or X as it's now known. God knows why that changed to that.
I don't even want to know.
Yeah, it sounds a bit dodgy. So, but I rarely use the Twitter or X account as it's called now. I rarely use it. I sometimes use it to post photos, and I get the odd few people look at them and say, oh, yeah. But other than that, I don't really use it. I think that's all we're on, actually. I will never get involved with TikTok. The simple reason is TikTok is for people that want to just do stuff for the sake of doing it. You know, like these challenges. Oh, drink a bottle of cola with a load of Mentos in them. Yeah, okay. See you at the hospital.
A lot of it's really stupid nonsense, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not interested in that.
If you want to be an idiot, join TikTok, yeah.
Yeah, if you want to have an early grave, we can do an investigation of you then if you want. Then by all means, join TikTok. But I'm staying well away from it. Because it's just like small clips of stupidness. That's not what I want. I do small clips. In case people don't know, I do the main raw footage. The only thing that's cut out is when we take breaks, and I've left the camcorder running because I've forgotten. Because me and Laurie are both smokers, so we like to have a fag break every so often, or a cigarette break. For those who are politically correct and think I'm actually talking about two men having it off, no, I'm not. We used that word a long, long time ago to talking about cigarettes, but some of you might be American and you might be like, is he being homophobic? No, he's not. He's literally just saying about a cigarette. But us British, we're different. God, I forgot what I was saying now.
You know, the worst thing, I've also forgotten what you said.
That's helpful. Oh dear.
I can't remember.
But oh yeah. So I do the raw footage first and I upload that. The only thing I cut, as I say, is breaks. Then I go through it for a third time because I go through my footage at least 3 times. Once to check it, to see if there's anything obvious without it, like the massive headphones. Then I go through it a second time with those massive headphones to listen for anything audio. Because the first time I looked for images. Now, believe it or not, I found audio when I've been checking for images, and I found images when I've been checking for audio. How funny is that?
Law.
It's like, what? But we have caught some good EVPs over the years, and as soon as I capture something good, it will be clipped into the highlights. That's why I do the highlights. It's a shorter version of the video, of the investigation.
Sometimes you do it in 2 parts, don't you?
Yeah. The one I'm doing at the moment, what is the date today? It's the 9th of November as I'm recording this. The one in November, the one we did at Gloucester highlights, part 1 of Gloucester highlights is already uploaded. Part 2 is going to upload, I think, the 13th of November. I'll have to check that. I'm sure it's the 13th because it's scheduled for them.
This Monday, if so.
So if I'm correct, it's this Monday, as my woman just said. So that's the reason why I do that. Because some of you might not want to watch it. How long are my videos? About an hour and 24 minutes? I think the shortest one has got to be Shrewsbury Prison. That's because we wasn't allowed to do much. And yeah, I'm not going to stay anymore.
Well, unhappy with that.
So was I. That's why we've gone with different groups. You've always got to explore and see which group you suit best.
And that group that we went to with Shrewsbury will not be happening again.
No.
They can offer all the discount they like. It's not happening.
Not for a small venue like that, no. I might give them one more try if it's a big venue. It's got to be a big venue, though. And I want cast iron guarantee that this time, when I asked them, are we allowed to film and use our own equipment?
Yeah, they said.
When they say yeah, I'm going to copy that. I've got a capture card in my PC, and I can easily copy things from the net. And I'm going to keep that as evidence this time. Because if they go back and say, oh, maybe, you'd have to ask the event. I'd be like, well, why tell me yes before I paid and no afterwards? Now, if people want to ask me what group this is to avoid, you can. If you are either on our group and you know my Facebook profile, that's fine. Or you can, if you're on my actual Facebook profile as a friend, again, you can message me. And I will tell you exactly what group to avoid. I may give them one chance only. They kind of bug us up in July this year. And to be honest, we spent quite a fair bit getting to Shrewsbury.
Which is why we're so pissed off with it.
We spent about, I can't remember what the train tickets were. I think they were 270 something. And the hotel was 300 and something. Best part of 500 quid, in other words, maybe 550.
That's without the event on top.
That's without the event on top, which would make it about 600 because it's about 55 each.
Nevertheless, it's still very disappointment.
It's not just a disappointment; it was a bloody waste. But oh well, we've all got to try these different groups and see what we get.
As I keep saying, you don't know until you try something.
Exactly.
Like when you go out for something to eat, you don't know what's going to happen until you try.
It's like we went to a restaurant the other day for a meal. Sorry, yesterday. In Torquay, called Smoky Joe's. Laurie's got another name for it. I'm not mentioning it though.
People know me. You would probably have an intake on what I might be calling it.
Someone on the bus when we were going to the Cattleman's Steakhouse in Paynton,
bus driver,
which is just the next town over from Torquay, by the way, for those who don't know. They said on the bus that there's a great steakhouse in Torwood Street, blah, 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 and it's called Smoky Joe's. So we thought we'd try it. Tried it last night. Absolute crap. I wouldn't feed that to my dog if they were still alive. I really wouldn't. You know, the chips are very bulky. They're like this thick.
They're like tree trunks, aren't they?
It's like sticking, as Laurie just mentioned, a tree trunk in your mouth. It's stupid. Who's beeping their horn? Someone's getting horny.
I don't know. There's a lot of idiot drivers out today.
Obviously, we're approaching winter as well. So people who do come with us, you know, if you've got a vehicle and you want to come with us for something that we can do locally, such as, I don't know, Berry Pomeroy, Trinity Church, I can think of a few others, message us, let us know, and yeah, we can probably make ourselves available.
They can either message you or they can message me because we're the ones that's going to know.
Now, there is one thing that can bugger up that idea up, and that is the weather. Trinity Church, if it's raining, you're going to get wet. By Pomeroy, you're going to get wet a little bit walking down, and also you've got to think about you're going to get wet coming back up the hill. The only sheltered bit is the gatehouse, and even then water goes through from the other end towards the end of the gatehouse, so you're going to get wet. So yeah, that's what I'm thinking of.
One of our favourites is Berry Pomeroy, isn't it?
What's the other place that we can do? Oakhampton Castle is another option, but again, there's very little shelter. So if it's raining galore, it's not going to happen because half my equipment is not waterproof.
I think there's a couple more places, but I can't seem to.
Oh, I'm trying to think.
Get it to my head.
Berry Pomeroy Castle.
And Oakhampton's not local, by the way.
It's still in Devon, so it's still
in Devon,
classed
but
as
it's
local.
not local.
It's still within Devon. That's what I call local.
Yeah, but you need to make that clear because people probably think around the area.
Well, I just made it clear. I said local to me is within Devon, where we live.
I mean,
Berry Pomeroy Castle, Trinity Church. There's another one.
And we can also do stuff like Jay's Grave again.
I'm going to make one thing clear, though, with Jay's Grave. Some people, in fact, several people have said there's no body in there because they've gone with those scanners that scan under the ground. And there's no body there. There's no bones, nothing. So I'm a little skeptical on that one. Because if there's no body, there'd be no energy. So take it with a pinch of salt. Now, there is a weird noise at Jay's Grave, which I think is unrelated. Not unless Kitty J turned into a Wendigo. That's what it sounds like. It sounds like one of those things from that sort of cinema video game, Until Dawn. You know, it sounds like that, and it's pretty creepy. Could even be a skinwalker.
It's actually not a very nice. It's enough to give you a headache because it's that.
Yeah, the video's somewhere down below on our videos. It won't be on the live bits, obviously, because we don't go live while we're out and about.
No.
Because of signal.
It's a really difficult one how to explain the noise, isn't it? You might need headphones, by the way, if any of you are going to watch it.
Yeah.
In order to hear the sound properly, because it's no use just playing it and then saying, well, we can't hear it. That's because you did put your headphones in.
Especially with EVPs. And normally, with my videos, I timestamp them. Everything that goes on is timestamped. There might be a 5 to 6 seconds of error. I've done it as best I can. It's not always perfect, I'm going to admit. But, you know, this is why I used to do intros on top of it, but then that just made things complicated. So what I do now is I do it and I do an outro, because then it's not complicated, because the minutes won't change for something we've caught an hour ago as opposed to at the end of the video. If I put it at the beginning of the video, it will change slightly. So if we do 3 minutes, it will be an hour and 3 minutes when that EVP is caught. And that's a lot of information to remember. And I cannot multitask. I'm not a woman. I'm sorry, but I'm not.
Well, I can't multitask.
But you're a woman.
Yeah, but I've got really bad learning difficulties in that.
But yeah, so there's some options if people want to do something local with us. Oh, we haven't inquired about Totnes Museum.
Yeah, we're meant to have done that, damn it.
I'd have to go for him. He's probably busy at work anyway.
Oh, also next year, we forgot to mention, not on purpose, I am looking at going to the Ancient Ram Inn.
Yeah.
Now, I can have people there, and we're not charging you, but the person who owns it is going to charge you. That would be what you have to pay.
Bear in mind, it'll be after April, so the prices might go up. As it stands, I think it's £70 per person.
It's £70 per person. Now, it's not a huge place, so with me, you, Craig, I'd say I'd probably take about 4 or 5
Hang on,
more.
let's work it out. Right, you've got the main room. So I say 2 there. You got the fucking sheddy thing. 2. You got the witch's room. 2. Maximum 8, I'd say.
Yeah, probably about 8. I think it 8 to 10 maximum, including us.
Right, remind me. I'm no good with maths. What's 8 minus 7? 8 minus 3. Sorry, me, you, and Craig and all.
That would be 7 of us.
No, 8 minus 3.
8 minus 3. 5.
So 5 people could come to the H-Ram Inn with us.
We're not making no money from that. The £70 is directly to the people, which we will see if there's a way that she will let you pay them direct.
Yeah.
Because then it put your peace of mind as well and all that, so you know that we don't make nothing from it anyway.
No.
Obviously, in a place like that, you have to read her little rules and that. She might have changed them and all that.
From what I remember, the main rules are we lock the gate behind us, which is fair enough.
Obviously, we're not going to give you the passcodes and all that to get in.
No.
That would be down to us to do that. Obviously, no mucking around in that because it is a very old building.
Yeah, and there's like priceless possessions there and stuff like that.
You really do have to be sensible in there for a reason. Obviously, be careful. I'm not very mobility myself, so wheelchair users would not be able to go in because there is no way that a wheelchair would fit in there. I mean, people on sticks are fine to do it because you'll be able to just about do that. But any other type of mobility, unless it's not us being funny, I'm not very mobile myself, just would not fit in that and it would not be doable.
Also, we do not have public liability insurance because we're not at that stage yet. We're not at a business stage. So if you come with us, you have to accept the fact that whatever happens is down to you.
I have an idea.
So if you have an accident, it's not our fault, in other words, because honestly, I've tripped over, Laurie's tripped over. I fell on my arse at that castle near Oakhampton.
You were going down the hill, weren't you?
When we went with Chris. Oh my God. I forgot his name. It's an old torture place. It's not far from it.
Doesn't it?
Lingford
or something like that.
Can't remember.
What I was going to suggest as well is I might write out some waivers that you will have to sign.
Waivers, not waivers.
I'm not very good at pronouncing it, but either way, that we may do because then that covers us, and obviously you're accepting your own responsibilities, and it's not our fault if something goes wrong. That be your own fault because you've not watched what you're doing. We've all made mistakes. We've all tripped over, fallen over, whatever, but it doesn't mean you have to sue the person for it.
Also, what I'm going to make clear as well, people that do come with us to events, please, if you're traveling by car, do not bring like dogs with you. I'm a dog person myself. I've had German Shepherds all my life, but they're not really appropriate for these events, especially the paid ones. Some of the non-paid ones, you could probably get away with it, but it's probably easier if you don't bring them.
Also, I want to make clear as though it is strictly over 18, so please do not ask. Even if your children are sensible as can be, the answer is no. And again, that is not us being funny.
We have actually tried.
We don't have public liability, so we're not insured anyway.
We have tried to take people who are over the age of 16, and when something's come through the spirit box, the D word, devil, demon, one of them, they get scared.
Which is understandable, but it's not very appropriate for under 18 to come.
So, it's not really suitable for youngsters to come to that if they get too scared. Because if it's a free event, it doesn't matter so much. If it's one that we're going to via a vehicle, if we can find someone, I don't know. I might have to make some inquiries. I might put something on our Facebook group. If people want to do something local this year, and they've got a vehicle, so if they want to do like Barry Pomeroy or Trinity Church or even as far as Oakhampton Castle.
But again, it should be over 18s because of how scared children get. We've
Yeah,
seen it ourselves.
but again, as I've just been
this.
interrupted by my partner
Yeah,
again.
you interrupted me.
It does need to be over 18s because it can get freaky. My partner's been possessed at Oakhampton Castle, as an example. We had someone it was a bit freaky once at Barry Pomeroy. Barry Pomeroy is one of those sites where some days are quiet, some days are peaceful, some days are active, and some days it's absolute hell and you've got a migraine.
Again,
for no
that's
reason.
Not our fault. That is the energy level.
Until you leave the area. You see, it comes with the territory being in the paranormal. You do get headaches sometimes from connecting with these spirits. One thing I will say, I will never use Ouija boards. I do not want to see them. They are very dangerous if you don't know what you're doing. I won't touch them. I will make an exception for pendulum boards.
But again, you must know what you're doing.
But again, you must know what you're doing. But they're not as dangerous as Ouija boards. Ouija boards are incredibly dangerous.
I'm not going to lie. I do have a Ouija board because I do know what I'm doing with it. And I think it's only ever been used once.
I wasn't part of it. I filmed it. I was like, yeah, I'm not touching that.
I think I did it actually at the ancient round then, which I got no response to.
You didn't need to take it though, because they had their own.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that, so I thought it'd be good in the witches' room. That's where I wanted to use it because I thought, well, I'm bound to get something with it because they're obviously familiar with things like that, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I thought I'd get some action, but no.
Just to recap, Margam Castle in February. We could do Dorchester Prison. We could do Stillhouse Lane. We could do The House That Cries. I'm missing one. See, my memory's not too good. Dudley Castle. Just making sure that's all of them. Colchester's a bit far. Oh, and obviously we want to do Shepton Mallet Prison again. You see, it was our first prison and we want to go to it before they decide to knock it down. Which they're planning to do at some point.
Another Bodmin situation, that, isn't it?
They're knocking it down probably to build flats. They're going to do the same with Gloucester as well. Yeah. So I've heard.
As I say, I can see it's going to be another Bodmin situation. Which is a shame.
No, it's not going to be a hotel. It's going to be knocked down for flats. So.
That'd be interesting to have a flat there.
Not really. Do you know how haunted that would be?
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you don't do that. It's like some places in America, they've knocked down, say, an old asylum as an example.
And built on it.
Some asylums I want to do in America too, but we don't travel yet that far. We will one day.
Indian burial grounds are the same up there.
No, I'm not doing an Indian burial ground. That is
where they built stuff on it.
Extremely disrespectful.
It is, but I'm not saying to do it. I'm saying it's where they've built stuff there. I remember speaking to someone.
Yeah, but I'm going through what we could do.
But that's another story.
So, Barry Pomeroy Castle locally we could do. Oakhampton Castle we could do. Trinity Church we could do. Now, if someone's willing to drive us there, we could go Gravesend and do this little thing connected with the young Native American lady known as Pocahontas. But it's up to people. We want to do Shepton Mallet, as I've said. We're looking at The House That Cries, Stillhouse Lane, and Dudley Castle.
Into why the house cries. It's really interesting.
And
I'm going to look into
she keeps making me lose my train of thought.
Because it's just so interesting how a house cries.
But yeah, we've got lots of things open for us. We've not booked anything other than Margam yet because we don't know what's going on, so to speak. We've also got an event in Torquay, as I've mentioned, but I don't know what's going on with that. I might give a certain someone a kick up the arse, be like, can you get us a date at least? Unless he's seen this and he's like, oh. But that is the plans for now. We want to do at least 5 or 6 events next year. Now, I'm going to do a live stream in a minute on the Facebook group. A very brief one. If people want to go somewhere local, we are available. And fuel's not a problem, by the way. Just as long as you're not asking for a stupid amount for a small journey. For instance, if someone we once paid
quid and
20 quid. They literally didn't want to go anywhere we suggested. We suggested Berwick Pomeroy. We suggested Trinity Church. We suggested Oakhampton Castle. And we suggested Jay's Grave. In the end, they went to Jay's Grave. But we went all around Dartmoor in the process.
Which was a pointless, and if you ask me, a bit of a rip-off because we didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Because he had it in his head, he wanted to do what they call, is it the Hairy Hands or the Hat or something? He wanted to drive down that route.
There's nothing at the Hairy
we
Hands.
tried to explain to him.
That's just a legend. There's no proof
nothing
to it.
actually happened or anything like that, but still, 20 quid was a lot of money to do nothing with.
Exactly.
And I'm not just going to pay someone just to drive around and not do anything because
we could also do.
We're not made of money at the same time.
Which has come to my mind. It will be boggy, so where wellies is Whistleman's Woods, near Dartmoor. That's meant to be very haunted, but again, we need someone with a vehicle, obviously, and yeah, weather permitting. All these places I'm suggesting are weather permitting. For instance, at the moment, it's okay-ish outside.
It's windy, it's cold, so it's always best to wear a coat if possible, just to keep warm.
Yeah,
it's your choice what you wear. If you want to go in shorts and t-shirt, you do that. It's your choice.
If humanly possible, wrap up warm. Because it is getting cold now. It's starting to get to winter. Before you know it, it'll be Christmas.
I can't believe that's like 6 weeks away.
Where's this year gone?
That's what I mean. I remember only saying a few months back, it's half a year gone.
But yeah, that will do for on here for now. I'm going to make some inquiries and see what else we can find for paranormal stuff. But at this point, there's nothing set in stone apart from Margam. But I do have other plans to do other things. I want to get at least 6 in next year. I want to make the most of it while Laurie has a bit of mobility.
I ain't got much.
Yeah, but I want to make the most of it and take advantage while you've got it. Particularly things like Shepton Mallet, because it's quite a good prison. It's massive. We could easily get away with, say, 15 people there. Maybe even 20, split them into groups of 10.
Again,
we wouldn't hire the place ourselves because we don't have public liability insurance again. If we can get around that and do that, I will look at hiring it ourselves. But we'd need the appropriate public liability insurance to do it, which is not always easy. And we've also got to do the ancient ram in. The good thing about the ancient ram in, you don't need public liability insurance.
Because I looked into that, didn't I, a few years ago, unless she's changed that. But I need to check that for sure.
Yeah, check that as well. But there was one place I do want to do, which again would require a car. It's called 30 East Drive. It's in Yorkshire. It's a long, long, long way away from me and Laurie. Again, we need people with a car because it's a long way.
How many are we allowed to take without public liability there? He did let us know, didn't he?
I think they said 3 or 4.
I'd have to check on my emails.
Yeah.
That might not be next year.
No, because spaces go quick.
So that might be a 2024.
That is next year.
Sorry, 2025. I forgot I'm a year behind. I've not got a good memory since my stroke bad.
I don't know if they know about that, but they do now.
I don't hide my disabilities, but I don't see the point.
But that's all we got planned for now. Laurie's going to make some inquiries about the ancient ram, or the ancient pig, as she calls it for some reason.
I don't know why I called it that, but for some reason I did.
Last time we went there, you can look at the video in our channel. We didn't get much. The only thing I noticed is someone helped me on the mirror. Now, I don't know if that was the owner or if that appeared on its own. I'd actually have to go through my old footage to start with and see if I caught that in the original time when we did our walk around.
And a cat.
We also caught a cat's meow on our live. We heard it. I don't know if we caught it on the live itself.
Again, might need headphones for that one.
But I don't know if we caught it. Headphones or not, because we didn't capture it on video on the camcorder. I doubt we caught it on the live.
It's a bit annoying, isn't it?
But me and Laurie heard it plain as day. Plus, also, there's another room I've just remembered, the attic. So, yeah, we could probably get away with 8 people to the ancient ram in.
Including ourselves.
Yeah. Me and Laurie would have to stay in a hotel near there. We're staying the same one we did before. It's quite nice there. Because at the end of the day, she's got to rest up a lot. I do too. I work like an alcoholic. Or workaholic, sorry, not an alcoholic.
I think you're drinking every day now.
No, I haven't had a drink in a while. I do fancy a rum and coke, actually.
Having an occasional drink does not make someone an
one
alcoholic.
drink does not hurt. One drink
And
does
you
not hurt.
don't even put a full shot in.
No, I put half a shot. Just something to flavour the coke. But yeah, I'm going to log off this now and we're going to do a live stream on our Facebook group. For those of you that joined us, I don't think no one did. You probably watched this when we've all gone. So
typically,
we've been talking to ourselves. First sign of madness. But yeah, that's where we're at the moment. So if you've got any suggestions, by all means, leave them in the comments. They are restricted to be reviewed first. For the simple reason before, we had someone leaving spam links, which obviously we don't want. So I put it on, it's got to be approved first. You know, it's not disconnecting our audience as such, it's keeping our audience safe. Because if you click that link and it's a dodgy one, you're going to blame us. So it's like, nah, we're going to stop that. So it is, I've got to review them first to make sure they're above board and safe, which is fair enough. But for now, you guys on YouTube, look after yourselves. Have a good Christmas and New Year. You might see us beforehand. I don't know. Depends how this live stream in a minute goes on Facebook. Because I will make it a suggestion to people with vehicles.
I'm going to have to leave the audience. I need to go.
Laurie has to go. But yeah, for now, stay safe and good hunting. Spirit Hunters Paranormal UK.